I am going to build an igloo. Or at least try to. Now I know what you're thinking. Why are you going to build an igloo? Well, for one, coming up with a documentary idea is hard. Especially in the middle of a pandemic where people are more resistant to doing interviews. Secondly, I really wanted to give my friends a break. Almost every single film I have shot, I have relied on my friends for help. Especially with my documentaries. So for their sake, and to challenge myself, I wanted to make a solo documentary. But what would this solo documentary be about, I pondered. Then, in the middle of watching Nanook of the North for class, it hit me. Just like Nanook, I could build an igloo. The Wisconsin weather was perfect for igloo building, and it was something I could do in front of a camera on a tripod. Armed with a camera, shovel, and determination, I headed into the great outdoors. Unfortunately, luck was not on my side. The weather was starting to heat up, so I had to get moving. I set up my camera, made sure I was in frame, made sure my exposure was right, and got to work. I began by digging out a base for the igloo. I learned online you could build walls in a circular pattern so you could eventually build a roof. Then I tried using snow brick molds to build a wall. I found this process tedious, so I returned to my shovel and formed the walls from snow piles. It got so hot while working, so it's like 40 degrees pretty much, and I had to take my jacket off, it's over there. And I realized that the stupid camera wasn't recording me for like the entirety of the time I built this. I troubleshooted and Sue got the camera to actually record. For the next 2 hours I continued shoveling and building up walls, but the piles were only getting me so far, so I went back to the bricks. I worked until fatigue and then packed it up and went inside for the day. On the second day, the weather was even warmer and peaked at 45 degrees. My time was running out. I dressed accordingly so I didn't overheat this time. I worked for another 2 hours building up the walls of the igloo all around, but heat had other plans. The igloo was starting to melt as I was building it. Eventually, I knew it was fruitless to continue. I had failed. Well, I wasn't able to build an igloo in real life, so I built one virtually. But don't worry, I'm not down in the dumps or anything, because I'll be back next year. And I'll build an igloo that'll give Nanook a run for his money. You know, that was probably a bad choice of words, considering Nanook didn't get paid at all for his appearance in Nanook of the North. But that's besides the point. The real point is, I learned a very valuable lesson. And that lesson is, don't rely on Wisconsin weather for a school project.